So things I'm unsure about is like our healthcare system so up. I don't know if free healthcare is the way, but like we need to like fix some of these.
Oh yeah, that guy Luigi going crazy.
Yeah, like some of these big corporations though are completely scamming us, and it's not an easy thing to reel in. But like, you know, Teddy Roosevelt reeled in the monopolies and cracked it up, and he was a Republican.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily right wing to give little checks on these people.
Yeah.
I mean, the insurance companies are why the healthcare is so out of control. I think in the U.S., I think it was, you know, we're the 42, you know, or we're the number one highest by far, medical by far, not even close. And it's like the 42 life expectancy.
Yeah.
So you see things like that, and it's like, you know, I've been to hospitals in Thailand, and they're 10 times better than America for like a 20th of the cost. And you go, okay, we have some problems.
Yeah, we do.
So the left does have some valid arguments with this corporate takeover.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah, they do. When it comes to healthcare, and I would argue that's probably the left's only strong thing, because they tend to, you know, campaign on like, oh, disparity between women and race and all. It's all a scam. It's all a lie. It's all cultural bullshit. It's all a lie. But the one thing is the healthcare is they do have a good good argument there, because you could make the argument that, hey, we need to find a system where there's healthcare that's still high quality, right? But at the same time, it's not like where people are just going to a doctor to go to a doctor. Like in Canada, for example, it takes you forever to go see a doctor because everyone's just going, oh, I got a headache, let me go to the doctor. They're abusing it. So we got to find a middle ground there, because yes, we do have an issue in America with insurance companies. I talked about this too with this isn't a left or right problem. Let's be clear about that. Ben Shapiro's try to make it a left or right issue.
It's called that, but it shouldn't be exactly. This is one issue where I think needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
And I don't have the exact answers to it, but it's clearly, you shouldn't lose your house because your kid has cancer. I think we should all be able to agree on that. But some people don't agree with that. I'm sure Ben Shapiro doesn't agree with that. But
well, he made a video and he got like brutally ratioed on it, like with a bunch of dislikes, because he tried to make the healthcare system a left or right thing, but it's not. And I talked about this. I had on my Fed React channel when I covered the shooter, Luigi. Now we know his name is Luigi. Like the issue with the insurance business is that it's a very dirty business. It's the only business that thrives off of not delivering the service that you're paying for. So, and as a matter of fact, not only do they not deliver the service that you pay for, they're incentivized to not give it to you, and you pay into it. So they do everything in their power to not give it to you, and they even hire forensic auditors, investigators, etc., to check your claim and try to not pay it. So it's a very evil business, if I'm going to be honest here, and it makes money off of not helping people. So we need to fix that to some degree. This isn't a left wing or a right wing issue, because trust me, there's Republicans that have family members that are dying and their health and their fucking insurance doesn't want to cover it.
I think they trick people into thinking it's a left and right issue, though. They've kind of spun it
well,
that
dumbasses
way.
like Shapiro that don't live in reality, right? And this is why.
Because he's been rich his whole life.
He's been rich his whole life.
Like people like
us had a silver spoon in his mouth his whole time, right? Like talking, like he tried to say some bullshit about, oh yeah, Myron Gaines is wrong about getting married and all this other bullshit, and you know, I was a virgin when I met my wife and all this other shit. Like, bro, motherfucker, not everyone comes from a devout family where he meets another family and his wife came from this family and wasn't a whore, and then you come in and you guys are able to get together. A lot of people don't have that setup, right? So for the average person, they're gonna have to get out there and date and deal with a bunch of these to figure it out. So he's lived such a coddled, you know, safe life that he doesn't understand how the real world works. Like, I mean, and this is the problem with like a lot of these political commentators, a lot of these influencers, is that they haven't had real jobs.
Oh, exactly.
So like, since they haven't had real jobs, they have no real concept. And then like every now and then these influencers or these commentators, whatever, will make a video, and then it'll bring you back to reality and realize like he tried to make insurance a fucking left or right issue. This isn't a left or right issue, bro.
No, and I know what it's like to be like hurt and not be able to go to the doctor because you don't have any money. You know? I was broke for years. You're like, oh, I got a broken hand or this. Like, oh, can I afford the doctor? And it's a shitty feeling. It just doesn't seem right. And it's not an easy solution, but it needs to be better here. Yeah,
insurance, it's an evil fucking business, bro. And again, I'm not gonna be one of these weirdo liberals like celebrating the death of someone. No, fuck that.
No, but I can understand.
But at the same time,
I don't think it was right, but I could understand his frustration.
Yeah, I could see the frustration, and though he could have dealt with it in a better way, because guess what? You kill this guy, someone's just gonna come in and step in. Now he's the new CEO. It's gonna continue, because the problem isn't necessarily killing that guy. It's not that guy that's the main issue. It's the system where they're trying to stay profitable by not helping people that are sick. That's the problem.
But you know what? We're talking about it now. So
we're having a discussion.
So I'm not saying it was right what he's doing, but he's
insurance is an evil fucking business, bro.
Maybe I brought up anyways, but maybe not. I guess people talking like you realize how evil these people are in the pharmaceutical companies, the weapons companies. There's like, and these countries have way too much influence on our politicians.
Yep.
But both sides. It's not just look at Nancy Pelosi with inside trading. It's both parties.
There's only one way you can solve the issue with these companies and these dictators. You know how?
No.
By becoming one of them. You can talk all day about issues, and it's cool to talk about issues, awareness, but the actual problem itself, the solution, you got to be in there. That's the only way you can solve it. Because imagine this. If I'm a billionaire, you're a billionaire, we're arguing, we have a dispute, guess what I can do? Fight you with power that you have as well, or vice versa. But if I'm talking from down here, okay, who gives a fuck? Oh, you're talking shit about me?
Yeah, no, it's hard. And then the same people buy up all the media
Which
companies.
is why I think we should actually have power like they have. Then we fight back that way.
Yeah, but it's hard to become a billionaire. We like to look at places like, Putin. You see the oligarchs, they're screwing his country. I've seen a video, exactly what they don't know the details, but these guys, he starts chewing out these billionaires and makes them change stuff right there, makes them sign papers right in front of them. You would never see that in the U.S. It would be the opposite. The billionaires are controlling our politicians.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's good that he brought, because I've talked about insurance being a problem for a very. I mean, I've been. I don't want to say who, but like,
I've
insurance with who?
So
but like, I've talked about insurance being an
it
issue
out.
for
Yeah,
years.
no,
So
same.
like, I'm glad that this is like, obviously we came up about tragic ways. This guy didn't have to die. This guy still has a family and everything. So I don't wish death upon anyone like these crazy loony liberals. But it is a problem.
Here's the issue. When you celebrate this guy Luigi, you know what you're saying? If you don't like establishment,
kill someone.
Kill the owner.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Which means if they don't like your
they can kill
podcast,
us, yeah.
so
exactly.
that's a bad precedent to set. Bro.
That's the other issue with these liberals too. Like they'll sit there and they'll be happy when someone dies. Like Kevin Samuels died, right, tragically, and women were like celebrating his death, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, let's say like my opposition, someone that disagrees with me, like if something happened to Destiny or Hassan or one of these like radical leftists. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, like I'd literally say like rest in peace to her. Like I don't agree with her viewpoints. I don't like her, but I don't want this person. Like I'm not gonna wish their death. But for some odd reason on the left, like they celebrate when people die, which I could see where Ben Shapiro's argument comes from there. But he's also got to understand that insurance is not this insurance issue in America is not a left or right wing issue.
No, yeah,
at all.
I agree, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of nastiness from the left, like Antifa. Have you ever dealt with those? Those guys.
Oh
are
yeah, terrible, bro.
Like when like I lived by San Francisco, at Berkeley, they were like rioting for like a year, attacking people.
They'll fuck you up too. Yeah. Like they'll come in and they'll attack you.
They'll attack girls too, beat them up. They're insane. Most thankfully they're like weak ass. They're weak ass men. I drop a couple of them, but it's like they're cowards.
That's crazy.
It's like I wanted to interview some extremists, but I wouldn't want to bring them by the studio. They might come back and firebomb it or something. Like,
yeah. They would.
And the kind of people who usually won't sit down and have conversations with you.
Yeah.
That's,
the left wing or the left is far more willing to use violence than the right, is what I realized for sure. Like they'll get mad at us for actually utilizing our free speech and want to hurt you for that shit. Like I get death threats every single day from like
death threats all the time too.
Fucking idiots on the left.
Also, the FBI goes after the right far more than the left for violence. I looked at BLM, then Antifa.
Oh yeah,
not much, but the January 6th riots, that was the biggest crackdown ever.
Yep. BLM is I said this before. They're a fucking domestic terrorist organization, bro.
No, exactly. And it was pretty much left alone. I think that's what kind of fueled the January 6th riots, because they'd watched that happen, for months and months, and they felt
George
golden.
Floyd bullshit.
Yeah, and then Trump kind of
they can do it, but you can't do it.
Exactly, and Trump kind of egged it on. I don't even know if he's going to pardon all the people. I'm not saying Trump's responsible for it, but he should pardon everyone in there.
I hope he does. They deserve to be pardoned.
Doesn't be cowardly if not.